Good morning, everyone. This is Sharon. Today I have a flip through of this. I've been calling it a spring Easter bunny kind of a journal. I know you're going to say it doesn't look very springy because the colors are very rich and dark. So I'm more or less calling it my medieval bunny journal. I've used a couple of kits from Donna at Twisted Paper Studios, her Renaissance bunny kit and medieval bunny kit. And so that kind of drove the color theme and the feel of this journal. On the front, I used this tapestry trim for my closure and a vintage buckle. And I thought they just went really well with this regal looking bunny on the front. I also added a couple of these antique buttons. They're very unique, and I was pretty excited because I finally had something where they went well with. They're covered in like a satiny kind of fabric, and then they have all this intricate little metal work on them as well. So if we open up this closure, you can see this nice regal bunny on the front, and I put that onto this antique book cover. It's a dark green, and I believe it's from the late 1800s. And then stepping inside, for my inside covers, I've got this rather fancy intricate pattern that is from Raindrop Lila, and then this is an image from the Renaissance bunny kit from Donna. I just love that page. I added a little bit of lace trim to the top of that. And then for my spine, I just added this old French fabric. Peeks through a little bit. On this page, so I will list, as I usually do, the Etsy shops that I used for digitals in here. Like I mentioned, mainly Twisted Paper Studios, but I've also mixed in a little Sam Pool, Roxy Creations, Raindrop Lila, and Ruby and Pearl. So I will list all of those as well. So here's a little tag that I made. This is the title page from the cover. It's dated 1887. On this page, I've clipped on this little journaling card that I made. I absolutely love this kit from Heather at Ruby and Pearl of the Lambs, and this one is just precious. Look at the expression on her face. I think she's a girl who's thinking, I want to be out in the barnyard in my old clothes, and Mom's making me wear this white frilly dress on Easter morning. She doesn't look too happy. It's so cute though. And then I tucked in here also some antique ephemera, some receipts. These are from 1868, so quite old. Here I included a page from one of my bird books. And then I've also got some of these beautiful, I love these avocado dyed papers from Lorna at Tailor Made Journals. This is from Donna's kit. And then here I created a pocket with some embossed paper. And then in there I just tucked this little journaling card. And this is an antique book page, and I just created this little calling card. And then I've included some of the original book pages and some other book pages. This looks like a cookbook, and then I just punched the edges of that page and did some stenciling on there. And then in the center, I added this doily for these corner tucks. And then I've got a couple of tags in there. This one, that just opens up for some writing room on the back. And this one also. Here I attached an antique Easter postcard. I just love the sepia tones and the chickens on there. And this is dated 1914. Here I took one of Rachel's Easter labels and just created a small little pocket out of that, and then tuck this little piece in there with the bunny on. It's a vintage wallpaper piece. And then this is it's a tea card, I believe. Yeah, but it's an unusual size. It's really tall and skinny. I really like that. Here's one of I did a little transfer of one of Raindrop Lila's little bunnies. So cute, you can see through to the printing, and then I did some stenciling on the top. Here I added this little tag with a brad or an eyelet, and then that swivels and you can use that as a little tuck spot. Here on these nice collaged pages, I usually just like to do a little bit of extra embellishment. I added some old fabric and a little label on there. Here on this page, I took some sari ribbon and a wax seal and just added that to the top of the page. Here on this page, I've got a from an old French notebook. Got this page, and then on there I clipped this little piece. This is from one of Rachel's sampler kits, and I just made this little document holder out of it. So this is what the back looks like. I just added a couple strips of paper and a brad, and that comes back over on top. And then I've got this little piece of vellum, just some scraps in here, an old book page, some music paper. And then on the back I have this. It's from one of my new Versailles kits. I just like that garden image on there. Here, again, I created a small little pocket from, I think it was meant to be a journaling card. And then in there, I tucked this antique French letter. I love these. I have to put one in every journal. And this is dated 1869. Here I took a strip of, I just bought these. They're like doilies, only they come in these long strips. I think they're like shelf liners or something. And I just put that across the top to create a tuck spot. And then I trimmed it up with a little bit of ribbon. And in there, I've got this antique statement from 1912. And then I also have this image of this drawing. And there's room to write on the back of that piece. Here I just added a little bit of linen fabric with some stitching on there. And then this is a 1905 ledger paper. And I just created some little side tucks on there and then inserted some journaling cards. This one I made from an old library catalog card. Added some ribbon and embossed it. And then on this side, I've just got a couple of small journaling cards. I've used also a few of my Mackie stamps in these, this journal and another one I'm working on. Here I added just a little piece of velvet trim and a button. And then in the center of on the strings, I just added a couple little charms. Here again, I've got another top tuck with that doily liner. And then in there, I've got this tag that I made. I stenciled on some book page and then just cut around it to create the tab on the top. And then put some vintage map on the back. Here I created this corner tuck from the shampoo image, and then in there I've got this journaling card. And then I've got this belly band on the back, and just tucked some antique ephemera in there. On this page, I took a strip, a cutoff of some ledger paper that I had, and I just stapled it to the top of the page. It folds out for some writing space. And then in that, I just tuck this little tag. I've got some antique fabric on the top. In the back, another Mackie stamp. They have the cutest little characters. Here I've got a silk ruffle with a little bit of lace trim on there. This image is from Raindrop Lila. Here I've got, I think it was a napkin with some cross stitch on it. That makes a nice fabric flip. And then I just added this label underneath there for a fun little surprise. On this page, I added this grid paper to add a little bit more writing room. And then I created a couple of these little tags and just sandwiched these ribbons in between the back piece and the front piece. I think that adds a little bit of interest. I've seen that on some antique calling cards. I think it's kind of a neat little addition. Here I created a couple of journal cards from these beautiful rose images from Raindrop Lila. I love those. Here I created kind of a faux pocket. This is an image from that Renaissance Bunny kit. And I printed it twice, and then I just took this bottom section of the page and cut a pocket for it, so it really lines up. You hardly even know there's a pocket there if you didn't have something in it. So in there I've got this tag, the bunny, and then this is like a doily image on the back. And this is one of my label kits. And then just a piece of antique Italian ephemera. It's got a really pretty kind of a pale aqua color to it. Here I used a vintage envelope, and I cut an oval in the top, a little oval window, and I stuck one of Heather's little lammy pictures in there and covered it with this, it's vellum, but it's dotted. I found that on Amazon. You can find some patterned vellum there. And then I just added a little fabric tab on the top. And then in the center of the signature, I've got, the background is from Donna's Medieval Bunny Kit. So it's got some really nice images. And then I just hung these two ladies on there and framed them up. Now these two ladies came from Cindy, the Scrapologist. She just published this kit. I have so many old ladies. I don't want to call them old ladies, vintage ladies. But I loved her kit because she copied them or scanned them out of an old book that had a lot of foxing and really made the images look aged, so I like that. And I just kind of hung them from this old fabric that I stitched across the top. And then I did another oval cutout on this side with this image in there. And then here I've got another hidden pocket at the bottom of that page. And in there I've got this check from 1961, a vintage check. I've got several pieces of ephemera in here, including that tall T card came from Kay at Kay's Vintage Ephemera. I got some really nice things from her. These are some old book page images. The bunny. Here I've got some more of those tulip journaling cards. here I just had to use more of the lammies. So I took 3 of the images, I clipped them together with this brad at the top, and I did a little bit of very simple stenciling with these dots on there. So up on this one, and then this one, and then this one. I think these just are absolutely adorable. And then on the backs, I've got this blue paper that I stenciled. Here I created a top tuck with this bunny image and just took some tissue paper and ruffled it and added that to the edge. And then in there I've got this tag. And then in this pocket I've got a vintage playing card. On this page I just embellished with some fabric and a vintage stamp. And that's the end of the journal. So I hope you enjoyed that flip through. This will be available in my Etsy shop when I post this video. I've got one more bunny springy journal that I will be videoing and putting that out probably later this week. That one will also be available in my Etsy shop. It's got a lot of Roxy Creations Easter in it, so it's a little bit brighter and springier looking than this one. So hopefully that'll give people a little bit of a variety of journals to pick from. Thank you for coming with me, and until next time, bye-bye.